would like to teach. I want to be on the stage, and I want to travel the world speaking to people, encouraging, motivating, uplifting, just giving my testimony to try to help people, us all, understand how we can wake up the next day and be better, and how we can, put our best foot forward to try to create the best lives that we can for ourselves. And that's what I'm in the process of trying to discover.
I think that's awesome, and I think that's needed. And I do think you got a story to tell, and I think it's somebody out there for everybody, right? And I feel
Absolutely.
like, and I see that in you, and I told you that.
Hmm.
A shocking thing that has happened in your life that you feel will be kind of difficult to tell to other people while trying to encourage them.
Just dealing with an addiction, period.
Mm.
Period. I never, you could not have paid me to believe on my worst day that I'd have to deal with anything like that ever. I'd never, done any kind of drugs, and it, again, this was something that I didn't ask for. I was not going out looking for a high, seeking a high. I had a surgery, well, actually a few surgeries, and I was supposed to, I developed a dependency to it. That been a part of my story, but it was.
And when you say that, I'm thinking about the time that had came to the forefront of the show. That has to been crushing to know the way it came, because it came in whispers and laughs and all that
Right.
extra. When there are people that's literally unaliving themselves
Yeah.
because they can't handle it, there are people that's walking away from their families because they feel
Hmm.
embarrassed. And so that's why I told you. I feel like there is a sector of people that would love to have you as a representation of them on this show, especially on network. Like, come on,
Right.
that's what it's about. Took a minute for me to grasp the fact that Nakisha Keke Jabbar Dawson of Love and Marriage Huntsville is no longer with us. To check a couple of sources before reposting anything as far as her passing. And I'm just going to be honest with y'all, this hit me like a ton of bricks. So I can only imagine what her husband, her children, her mom, her dad, her grandfather, anybody that's in her immediate circle of friends that she spoke so highly of, I could only imagine their pain. Send my warmest and deepest condolences to the family of Keke Jabbar. I know she was full of light and love. I'm going to speak from my heart because it has been tearing me up all day. The news has dropped that Keke is no longer with us. And I want y'all to be reminded of this, because in the months or weeks to come, there will be a lot of negativity online. You can rest assured. It's going to go without saying whether I want that to happen or not. I've watched people on social media over the years, how they'll stand with the family one minute and then they'll start finger pointing the next minute. Do me a favor. I know there were some people that followed me that definitely supported Keke as I did. Stand in the gap for Keke, because she's no longer able to defend herself and her family online. I'm getting ready to vent, and I don't mean no disrespect to the family at all. And I don't mean any disrespect to any content creator that this is not directed to. I have to get this off my heart. I know that people would like to think that Keke came on this show just to antagonize Letitia. But I need us to remember the first person that brought her on this show was actually her cousin. In my opinion, it wasn't until Keke Jabbar wanted to become a full-time cast member began to experience this smear campaign. Personally, not in the business of kicking somebody while they're down. So I'll do my best to refrain from even sounding like that's what I'm trying to do here. We get real for a moment. The grace that Keke Jabbar was due, if it wasn't because she's your friend, your best friend, or somebody you once knew, the grace that she rightfully deserved, she didn't get that. And now others want us to provide grace and affection and privacy for them. While Keke Jabbar definitely came with her own set of issues, she owned that. That's something that I admired about her the most, is that not even having media training, not even have been on TV before, and say that Keke was something like a late bloomer. Even with her lack of knowledge of how social media and TV shows can be, she still bared it all for all of us to see. She bared all of her flaws, her struggles, and her accomplishments. She owned it. And as I told her time and time again, even though she wasn't given the proper platform to really explain to us her struggles with her family, to finish what she started, and pretty much her journey to me was to reach back and talk to those women that were afraid to admit their flaws, were afraid to speak up for themselves, that were afraid to ask for help. The moment I heard her say that she wanted to open up a nonprofit for women, especially their fight with addiction, I was all for it. I was supporting her from the sidelines. I wanted her to make it. Jumping back to what I was saying, because I will get off topic. I have been ranting and raving all day, y'all. Though she had her ups and downs with her addiction, she told me out her mouth that most of her family members and people that she worked with, even friends, had no idea that she was battling this. Imagine their surprise when they watch this episode and see that she's being exposed exposed on TV on this level, which made me admire her even more. Because of this exposure, she still was able to educate us about what it looks like when a person is in the throes of addiction. Watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, you would think that's all to Kiki. I've never seen anybody ask her, how did your kids take this? Watching you on TV and them finding out something about you that they had no idea about. They had an inkling, but they wasn't sure. Because regardless of how people felt about her, her kids love and adore her. Knew that they were old enough to have other kids, school-aged children, to come up to them at school and ask them questions about their parents. So I really wanted to know from a concern standpoint, how is she dealing with the backlash of it all at home, if she was receiving any of it at home. And she basically said that her oldest son, although he was shocked, he received it very well and continued to support his mom. But watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, you would assume, like I said, that addiction was the only thing to her story. And I always had to correct people and say that even though she was bold enough to admit her flaws, people that we watch daily on Bravo, Star, even on network, that the cast members are addicted to something outside of rugs. It could be Smex. It could be gossiping, toxicity. Somebody on each network that we watch for reality TV purposes that is battling some type of addiction. They're just not bold enough to tell you. But she was. And it was those individuals that was acting as if they don't have a grandmother, mother, cousin, sister, brother that's battling addiction with beer, hard liquor, or gambling. We've all known somebody that's had some addiction to something. So I didn't understand what the hoopla was all about, but it was something special about Kiki. Never put my finger on it, but I knew she didn't mean any harm. I'm sorry. The way some of these cast members acted on that Houston trip was absolutely atrocious. It was clear that they were trying to squeeze her out of the show. It was clear that a plan had been hatched. By all means, they got her off the show. At least stopping her bag, but then you have cast members that will say stuff like, the fans should not be dictating who gets fired contingent on how boring they are on the season. Or, you know, just because you don't like a person doesn't mean you have to call for their firing. Y'all literally hatched plans for somebody that y'all felt wasn't fit to be on a show that you guys are literally tearing down by yourself. Then it was that one comment that really hurt my feelings for Kiki. A cast member didn't want to film with her or no longer wanted her around because they were messing up her brand. Some of these same individuals want you to reach back and ignore their nastiness and support them in their time of need. What I'm saying is, do unto others that you want them to do to you. And even though I'm not the type of content creator that would encourage somebody that I admire to seek revenge, the best revenge is to not be like your enemy. However, some of the individuals on the cast that didn't see it for Kiki, she truly celebrated those people. Though she may have been upset about some things that was happening, she still would say something positive about the people that she was into it with. That's who Keke Jabbar was. The type of woman that didn't have to shit on the next person to make herself feel good. She had a big ass heart. I truly believe she was totally misunderstood. Did I agree with everything that happened? No. The moment people were able to infiltrate and place a little bit of doubt, some people took it at face value and ran with it. And that's the unfortunate part about it. Kiki is a prime example why I try to watch exactly what I say about people, especially when it comes to the breakdown of their family dynamics. For one, you don't know if their family member, if this is their norm to break up to make up. Flip side, you truly don't know the history. They could tell you anything, but you truly don't know the history. So I try to tread very, very lightly when it comes to family problems and toxicity. I think it's very unfortunate the scenes that we're left with from Love and Marriage Huntsville, starring Keke Jabbar. We're able to go back and watch it. Guess who else is able to go back and watch? Her children. As of right now, as I'm filming and recording this video, it is 12:57 a.m. I have not seen a statement from OWN Network or Carlos King to say that he's not communicating with the family behind the scenes, because we truly don't know. At this time, a cause of death has not been determined. Of course, they have to go through the autopsy process, and it may take weeks. And while I don't blame the family if they never ever tell us how Keke Jabbar left this world, because look how she was treated when she was the only one for real clocking into work outside of mail. I'm not sure if OWN or Love and Marriage Huntsville production was not quite ready for a story like Keke Jabbar. But I have said this time and time again, I feel like her story was tastefully produced to the world, because surely there was other things that you guys could have filmed her doing, saying, and participating in. But some of the cast were so hung up on her addiction, and it was so easy just to blame Kiki because of that. Pretty much everybody over there on OWN Network wrote her off. My heart goes out to the family. I am truly, truly sorry for your loss. I'm sorry we weren't able to experience the Keke Jabbar that you guys knew and loved. I know that there is somebody lurking and waiting to twist the narrative. And I'm telling you, I will be back up here to debunk any rumors or lies. Lies has been going around way too long. She's not here to defend herself. When I stated to know Kiki is to have a forever sister, I meant that. And that's even in death. I'll leave y'all with this piece from our interview, and I'll see you guys in the comments.
God has for Kiki is for Kiki. I don't want to be anybody else but Kiki. I like Kiki and I like being Kiki. You know, Kiki does have something she needs to work on. Yes, and I say this because I'm on outside looking in, you know, evaluating myself. Yes, Kiki has some things that she needs to work on, but overall, I like her. And I think she's a dynamic and beautiful, hearted person. She loves hard, she cares, she is loyal, you know, regardless of what people think. Oh, this chick is loyal. And she knows this. She's been this. They know that.
Girl, you know what? We need to talk. Can you talk? Because girl, we'll be going back and forth forever and ever.